Hello everybody. Yes, I am looking rather glum today, but today's topic is rather glum. I'm also not having the best day, and I'm also a little poorly still, so you have to bear with me. This is really, I think that's enough really's, hot outside, and it's 7:05 in the evening, and it's still really hot outside. So I'm not impressed. I don't take to heat well. I'm not used to it. I don't like it. It makes my skin crawl. It doesn't help when I probably got a temperature as well. Yeah. It's one of the reasons my hair is not down. On to today's topic. There will be more than one video filmed today, but the first topic I'm here to talk about is what happened on, it's now Thursday, so what happened on Tuesday, which was my first and hopefully last ever colposcopy procedure, which I had to have. It was around 3 years past due because I have had so much other personal issues going on. I know it's a really important procedure, but legal issues and other things that have taken precedent. I haven't been able to make it before that, and moving house a lot hasn't helped either. So I finally went for my colposcopy this past Tuesday. Again, today's Thursday. So a colposcopy is what you're offered usually if you have an abnormal smear test result. A smear test is usually done at your local GP or health centre, maybe sexual health clinic, I think, possibly, and it's for, you usually check for changes in the cervix and cervical cancer, or things, changes that could possibly lead to cervical cancer. So it's quite an important check to have, and I think they offer it for women aged 25 plus. I think it used to be higher than that, but I think it's about age 25 now. I'm older than 25, so I did have to have that done in 2013 and got an abnormal result, came back slightly abnormal. Was told there's nothing to worry about, but to attend a colposcopy as soon as possible, just to check for cells, if any need removing, if you need a biopsy, etc. Some of the symptoms of cervical cancer include, I know one of them, and that's bleeding between periods, changes in your period, bleeding during sex, after sex, pain during intercourse, so any changes to do with bleeding and intercourse for the most part, and also I think, I'm not positive, but I think obviously sore tummy, bloating, changes in that area, lower stomach area, but there are other cancers that could be attributed to as well. So those are some of the symptoms: period changes, unexplained bleeding, pain during sex, pain after sex, bleeding after sex, just stuff that's unusual. I have been having some of these symptoms the past year or so, but there are other explanations as to why I personally have been having those changes. So I wasn't so sure. Part of me was really worried and thinking, oh no, cancer runs in my family, sort of thing, which it does. So maybe, I'm more genetically inclined to get it, and maybe, maybe it's not something else, maybe it's cancer that's causing those problems. So it was really a worry, and every time I tried to get a colposcopy organised, something fell through and I couldn't get it done. So to finally get it done is a huge relief, because I don't want to confuse the colposcopy procedure with the colonoscopy, which is basically a check for bowel cancer, and well, it's related to the bowels basically. I had to explain this to my dad yesterday, so there are some people who won't know the difference between a colonoscopy and a colposcopy. It took me a while to learn how to pronounce that. Of course, a quick Google search will tell you more about colposcopy. But yeah, it is to find out whether there's abnormal cells in your cervix or vagina. And it's really important to find that out as soon as possible. It can happen because you may have I'm not sure how you actually pronounce it the long way around, but the HPV virus, the human papillomavirus, which is the main cause of abnormal cell changes that might lead to cancer. Or maybe you've had the smear test and they weren't able to give you a result for some reason, or the person doing your smear test didn't think that your cervix looked quite right and wanted to double check. So there are a few reasons why they might suggest a colposcopy procedure. Anyway, I'm more to talk about how my personal experience went of the colposcopy procedure, not how the procedure itself, although we'll be talking about it. I went with my fiance. I wouldn't suggest going on your own at all. Now, you can get general anaesthetic offered for this, but I was told that I would have to rebook a different appointment, and obviously I'd probably have to stay in overnight, although I didn't ask this, but generally that's usually a rule. Now I just opted for local anaesthetic, which I don't think barely really counted as anything. I didn't ask what that was. I know it was a needle containing something, and I know the needle, it was actually really painful, but we'll get to that. So I went in, my appointment was 6 p.m, so we were there for actually 5:45. By about 5 to 6, my name was called, whilst my other half was still outside having a smoke, so he had to rush in, and it was all pretty quick. My dad was somewhere in the car park waiting for us. So the doctor discussed it, introduced himself and the nurses, discussed the the reasons why I had to have the colposcopy, and that was because of my abnormal smear. I'm not going any further into that, but yeah, that was the reason. But I knew that anyway, and how it was really important that I get it done because it was like 3 years overdue. So yeah, I agreed with that. Anyway, I didn't. Well, I didn't because I also went to see the doctor earlier in the day, like 2 days ago, for yet another blood test, which is some liver checks I'm having done, and also a routine appointment, as well as I have a lot of issues going on medically, so I had to see the doctor regarding that, and it turns out, due to one of my other conditions, which is a prolapsed uterus, which I'm due hopefully an operation on, that meant that I have yet another kidney infection, which is, I get up to around 10 of those infections a year, which can be really, really nasty. That's the reason I get so many is because of my prolapsed uterus, which is basically literally, the uterus fell down due to, in my case, giving birth to 5 heavy children. So they're finally going to get that fixed after it being misdiagnosed as a overactive bladder, which I knew was a load of nonsense, but there you go. So that made me a bit nervous about having the colposcopy too, if they could do that with the prolapse there. And also with me having a kidney infection, I've not felt too well. Along with my pain issues that I've got, my anxiety and depression issues, I really wasn't looking forward to a colposcopy. I thought the chances of me having a biopsy were pretty slim. Now, obviously, biopsy is where they remove tissue, usually to take a look at it, and if necessary, well, I think they do it anyway, whether it's necessary or not, and send it to the lab for further checking if they're particularly worried about it. But they did not tell me whether they need a biopsy, but basically, to prepare me, they spoke to me about it for a bit, spoke to my fiance. I got ready, got on the bed, gave me a very, very sharp injection, just at the opening of the vagina area. Might have been my thigh, just the opening of my very outer thigh. I really couldn't see from there. That was very painful, but that was nothing in comparison. Now, I don't want to be like one of these horror stories people. Like, I've had 5 kids and I've seen one born every minute, and if you watch that show, you want to never, ever, ever, ever have a kid, right? Especially not naturally. Okay, well, I've had 3 kids with no pain relief and 2 kids with. If I had another child, it'd be without pain relief. So, you know, I'm just saying, one person's horror story, it might not be that way for everybody. So yeah, that having said, you're probably preparing yourself. I'm going to tell you this didn't go so great. Yeah. So if you're squeamish and you're the TMI sort of person, I don't like TMI sort of people, but if you are, you're probably not if you're watching my videos, but if you are, maybe just skip this video and go into one of my other ones. So anyway, I have the injection, and then he says, right, well, I think it's like a minute later, he's talking to me like diversion, basically. He was talking about my method of contraception, which at the time was it was a copper coil. I know there's a better name for it, something IUD, which had to be removed. So they're doing the whole diverting my attention away from what they're really doing by talking to me about that. I half noticed, half didn't care because I wanted to be distracted. So, and then he says, we're going to start. I said, you know, I can't decide what's worse, this or the dentist. And then they all sort of chuckled and said, oh, the dentist is definitely worse. I thought, yeah, but the dentist does with your face and you can sort of see what they're doing, at least guess. And I've had a lot of dental procedures and I still need a lot more. So, anyway, he says that it's going to be like, he can see the cells quite easily. He's going to remove them, hence he is doing a biopsy. But this isn't because he's worried about them, they're not cancerous. But he wants to remove them, so there's some new healthy, you know, cells, not abnormal ones, some new healthy ones that will grow back in their place. And he told me it would be about the size of his thumbnail. He did ask actually if I wanted to see afterwards, which I will tell you what I decided. So he said it's going to be a bit like suction that they use in the dentist. You know, they've got that suction tube they put in your mouth to sort of do various things with, really. He said that, of course, it was him, 2 female nurses, and my partner who was holding my hand. And he said that, you know, it'll be slightly warm, you'll feel a warm sensation. It'll feel a bit strange and a little bit warm. So he started the procedure, and I cringed, and I said, "Oh, hold on." And everybody looked at me. I said, they said, "What's wrong?" I said, "That's not warm. That's scalding." I mean, I was thinking, don't scream. You're not going to help anything. But I was thinking, something's not right. So they stop and they say, "Well, it shouldn't be. It should just be warm." I said, No, there's no way that's warm. I said, I would actually say I could burn myself with a kettle and it'd hurt less. It felt like hotter than a normal flame would. I don't know, maybe like acid. Poison, I'm not sure. I felt like something was going seriously wrong, like I was going to end up with beyond third degree burns. I was like, this just isn't right. And then the steam coming up through like the paper thing that I'm wearing over me. My partner looks worried. They look worried. They're like changing something on the tube, see if it makes any difference. Anyway, it didn't make any difference, but I'd put up with most of it, if you want to call it that, by them. I'm not a drama queen. I don't cry. Well, I do, but usually emotional stuff. I'm very much used to physical pain. It doesn't get to me like emotional pain. Plus, when somebody's down there with something that's already doing that much damage as you feel it is, are you really going to start screaming and shouting and then they could make a mistake? No. So I just told them as calmly as I could that I felt like I was being tortured. Now bear in mind, I watched a lot of crime dramas, and I was thinking, well, I know what she went through then. And yeah, warm sensation, warm. I don't know how to describe how hot is not even the word that was. Okay, hot was not even the word. Now, if you are a TMI type of person, turn away, because what I'm about to say next, you're like, I am still losing bits of black, dead skin from that area. Just being, cauterized and sealed up, and oh boy. So anyway, did I want to see the results of this in this pot that was about that big? Hell yeah! After that, it was much bigger than his fingernail. Tried 2 toenails, and it's disgusting. It's reddy, gooey, ooey stuff. But there was that and another one, I think. There was more than one. That I just showed the initial one. And there was quite a bit of blood afterwards, and they told me there'd be quite a bit more, but so far not so much. Not so much bleeding, a lot of pain and weakness at first. 2 days on, I'm highly irritable, but I'm not feeling very well, and the weather's not great. So, well, in my opinion, it's too hot. So, as for the colposcopy, not everybody that has a colposcopy needs a biopsy for a start. And you can choose to have it under general anaesthetic as well, and I didn't. Plus, I have a very high tolerance for pain medication due to all the pain medication that I'm prescribed, so that might not have helped as far as a local anaesthetic goes. I don't know what I was given. but I never respond much to those things anyway. Regardless, I do think there was something wrong with the machine, according to my partner. The staff looked really worried and panicky, you know, and keen to get it over with, and apparently they apologised to him. Okay, well thank you, but where's my apology as well? You did it to me. There you go. So, colposcopy is just him viewing it with a device which I didn't bother to look at. The biopsy is the issue. But hey, as far as cervical cancer goes, I'm cancer free, and you know, I can attribute that bleeding and other things to something else now, which is something far less worrying. Rather than likely my coil that I had previously. So it's a big thumbs up for being cancer free. It's a big thumbs down for the biopsy. That's just my experience, though. Again, I don't want to fill everyone with horror stories and make everyone worried, but if you are a little bit worried, like now that you've heard the story about the biopsy, or you were before, maybe get a general anaesthetic. I mean, it's just me. I don't like general anaesthetics. I don't like having to stay in hospital and things. So if you're not really that bothered about that, maybe do that. But it's really, really, really important that if you need to go for a colposcopy, that you do, because seriously, it was over within minutes. It was like less than 10 minutes. It didn't actually seem longer either. It was like less than 10 minutes. So those, you know, a couple of minutes of torture, as I call it, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And you know, I've got a clean bill of health as far as that goes now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that, I guess. Just shocked at the amount of pain I ended up being in. So if you're going for a colposcopy or been for one, feel free to comment down below. Please hit like, subscribe, maybe view one of my other videos. I'm going to post another health related video probably next week. So yeah, take care everybody, and thank you so much for listening and kind of sharing in my pain, although not too literally, thankfully. Bye for now.